Hello everyone, so continuing on where we last were, we were the Lominsan envoy and had taken us to both Gridania and now to Ul'dah, which is where we are currently residing. Or not residing, but where we currently are. Bartholomew has a quest for us, Call of the Sea. Bartholomew has information that may be of interest to you. Ah, my lady envoy, I trust your stay in the Sultanate has been pleasant. Now, if you do not mind my asking, do you perchance have plans to visit Limsa Lominsa in the near future? If so, I have information that may be of interest to you. I once accompanied the Flame General on an official visit to the seaside city-state, during which time I became acquainted with Baderon, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench. Well, the man sent word just now that he has a job for a capable adventurer. I can think of none with better credentials than you. Baderon would doubtless be pleased were you to offer him your services. Naturally. And with that, we are returning to Limsa Lominsa. Baderon. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. Sit wherever you like, lass. I'll be with you in a... Well, if it ain't the one and only Tora. I was told a distinguished adventurer might be reporting for duty. Fancy that adventurer been you, eh? Just so you're fairly warned, though, this ain't no job for the faint of heart. Things are liable to get downright bleeding airy, but if you think you're still interested, let me know and I'll fill you in on the details. And with that, we get some gear options that I don't need. Baderon. It's probably pirates, so if you haven't figured out already by this point, this is where the main scenario quest is exactly the same for everybody, regardless of which city-state you started in. With Ul'dah and Gridania and Lominsa, each one will have the beginning main scenario quests prior to this, somewhat relevant to its lore and city and culture, etc. So if you started in Ul'dah, you'll have the Ul'dah envoy, and then from there you'll have kind of dialogue towards your Ul'dah origin. And then from Gridania, Gridanian envoy, Gridanian lore, etc. And obviously with the Lominsan envoy, the Lominsan kind of lore, etc. Anyway, so from here on out, it is exactly the same for everybody. So, Baderon, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, has need of a capable adventurer. Well, they better ask someone else. I thank you for taking the time to help me out. Now, I'm sure you're busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it some suspicious-looking buggers have been sneaking in and out of the Sastasha Sea Grot, and I need a trustworthy sort to head up north of Velport and find out who they are and what they're up to. Don't sound like much I know. But since the nasty business over in Swiftperch, folk have been a bit uneasy. Well, I say a bit. 'Tis all they can do to not soil themselves every time the bloody floorboards creak. If you would permit me, Master Baderon, I should be happy to elaborate. Well, if it ain't Chief Yellowjacket himself, to what do I owe this rare honor, Commodore Raynor? Come to make sure my patrons are behaving, or just thirsty? Neither, in fact. I came to welcome Totoro back to Limsa Lominsa. It is well you have returned. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel of the coast of Aleport in the vicinity of the Isles of Umbra. This information came to my attention no more than a few weeks after a squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Sastasha Sea Grot included. Their search revealed little save that a family of Kuorls had taken up residence in the caves, nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it's deemed wise to search Sastasha again. But with the Sahagin testing our defenses daily, I'm loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. Thus, I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Leave it to me. Then it's settled. Sastasha is located in Western Lenosha. For more detailed instructions how to reach the place, I suggest you consult Melpa. She can be found at the ferry docks on the lower decks. You heard the man. Give luck to ya, lass. Or good luck to ya, lass. I can read. Ahem. Alrighty then. And, we do have other quests here And I am going to do this one because it's going to unlock the challenge log. I'm not going to read it out. And this one is I don't really care about. We can deal with that dude some other time. Where are we going? We are talking to you. Wait, did I need the stairs or did I need to go to the Culinarian Guild? I'm pretty sure it told me to go down here. Right? Right? Yes, I needed to go in the same place for the Pirates quest, so that's perfect. We are going to talk to you first. If you have business with me, be quick about it. My fairy and me next great adventure away. Loveborn Journal. Blah-bitty blah-bitty blah. Blah 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 blah. Will you make that? Thank you very much. Blah blah blah. And we will now have the challenge log. Of course I want this because that means some gil earning and some other things as well. And I need to rearrange this because I had them in the wrong spot. There we go. Challenge log. So of course I want that. Bilpa. Or Bimelpa, whatever. You're here about Commodore Raynor's investigation. Then you'll want to board a ferry bound for Ilport. Once you arrive in Western Lenosha, though, you'd best pay a visit to the Hall of Novice before you blunder into Sastasha. Adventurers Guild runs the hall, and the folks there will prepare you, train you with the skills you'll need to face the dangers undoubtedly awaiting for you in the Seagrot. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, just north of Ailport. Get inside, and one of their seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. Now, I don't actually need to do this because I've already done this. Anyway, so we can see just out here, outside of the Ailport, we have the map. We have the Hall of Novice right there, and we've actually seen it a few times already. Right there is the actual Hall of Novice building. And I'm going to swap to my tank here because that's what I'm going to be using quite quickly. Actually, no, we'll stick with the DPS for the experience. Ah, you must be the adventurer of whom the Yellow Jacket sent word. I hear you're to brave the depths of the Sastasha Seagrot. The occupants of those caves are rumored to be numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling into such a den of savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions, and you shall need the training we here at the Hall of Novice can provide. I strongly suggest that you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing on your mission. The smith here oversees the training schedules. Speak with him and you can register for exercises tailored to your particular field of expertise. Hello. When you have mastered all our masters have to teach, then it will be time to head north once more. Report to the Yellow Jackets south at the mouth of the Sastasha Seagrot, and he will furnish you with the details of your duty. Pay attention to these two. And these four. Yellow Jacket. Please tell me you're here on the Yellow Jacket duty and not some daft sought out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ship seen slipping around the Isle of Umbra. Well, we've been on the lookout for pirate activity ever since the vessel was sighted, thinking a crew of cutthroats might have a den nearby. So when we received word that men of questionable quality had been seen passing in and out of Sastasha here, we weren't entirely surprised. I've yet to see them for myself, but if this lot belongs to those fishback-fancying serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in the people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around in the caves and find out exactly who we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll keep watch out here. Pray you don't spot any blue-faced tattoos. Use the duty finder to enter Sastasha. Sastasha now accessible. The duty finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Alrighty, so duty finder. That's not what I want. I want dungeons, Sastasha. Alternatively, I could just interact to the entrance thingy over there, but I don't wanna. Now, you might be wondering why I opted to queue as a tank, because if you queue as a tank or healer, generally speaking, it is a faster queue than for DPS, because there's so many different DPS classes as opposed to healer and tanking, and generally speaking, people don't like to tank or heal. Anyways, here we go. If you sully our spawning grounds, sure want to. And now we need to return to the drowning wench, Baderon. Aye, such a task was on the books. Was mine. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sastasha? That's me. It would seem that ship has not yet only sailed, but now returns to harbor. None of the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter. We will return and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Her purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, milady. Bye-bye. Back then, are ya? With all your limbs and a tale to tell, I'll wager. Well, this happened, and that happened. Fishbacks! And there was I thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or 3. 7 hells. You turned your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly jerks have set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning. Unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fauna of Sastasha, of course. And he wrote, all's well that ends well. Thanks for shedding some light on this mystery. I knew you'd get the job done, lass. You always do. Now, I'll bet you're dying for a res, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. It just so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see. Seems the forest folk are in need of a adventurer what can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be no skip through the sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for you. Party Finder unlocked. And effectively, the Party Finder is to find various parties for things to do, be they trials, dungeons, fate, etc., etc., etc. Call of the Forest. Baderon has information on a new task. Ready to hear about that job, then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know. But whatever it is you got asked to do, I somehow doubt it'll pose any trouble for adventurers to survive the bedlam in Sastasha. If you think you might be interested, you'll have to have words with Mother Mione, me counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, lass. And so we're headed to New Gridania. I just realized I forgot to attune to the Aetheryte in Ul'dah. Whoops. Mother Mione. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come to take your... Oh, not here to dine. Dare I hope that you're the adventurer Baderon sent word of? You are? Matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mione, and the Caroline Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Mother Mione. Fire in the Gloom. Mione is waiting to brief you on your task. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardons for interrupting, Mione, but her need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward? And good more to you, too, Bo-Lord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us with a visit. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead the men and women of the gods' quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridania in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. The place was once a Glamorian settlement, but we Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been skulking about the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with our orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the exile at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelveswood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn the others to deal with the Lambs of Dalamud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? You have my gratitude. Once you have seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. He will apprise you of the latest developments. That is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. And we need to head down Central Shroud, which we can exit just out here, and then head along here. We'll attune to the Bent Branch Meadows Aetheryte, and then make our way there. Playthrough, I have made my way to the Tam-Tara Deepcroft, which is where we need to head, because we've been requested to do so. And you may have recognized some of these individuals who were outside of the Sastasha dungeon area as well. But anyway, making our way in here, and of course attracting the stupid skeletons here. Let's see if we can make our way here without them following us. Ahaha! Right. God's Quiver Bow. You're Totoro Tara, I take it? Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bo-Lord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deepcroft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly after the calamity put an end to the Sixth Astral Era. The cultists took the Lesser Moon Dalamud for their god, believing that it would deliver them from the devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with their coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Aha. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deepcroft, you may be sure that no good will come of it, for the sake of Gridania and Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. The Tam-Tara Deepcroft now accessible. And as you might have noticed, I'm actually the conjurer right now, because I was busy leveling up all these other jobs that are currently available. And I'm going with the conjurer, because I expect it'll be a faster... Don't mind me as I range my hotbar here. Because it should be a faster queue. Hopefully. Maybe. We'll find out. Oh, look at that. Instantly. I wasn't expecting that. And just to add some extra boost to leveling, I'm gonna eat some food. Who summons me from the void to reside within the vessel something something. Ta-da! Liffin. And Lapoof, apparently, too. Mune. Or Mione. Whatever you want to call her. Welcome back, Totara. I'm reliably informed... Reliably informed? Okay. No, that makes sense. Just me. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the Deepcroft was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. Baderon's ringing endorsement left me in little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Lord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it is something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. Remember these guys? Evier's gone. It's all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But Bade tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. But to the hells with his pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving. It'd be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel though this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by the way, if some parting advice, get rid of Evier's head, bury it, cremate it, do whatever the hells you like with it, but for stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Yeah, that's kind of creepy. But wait, don't leave me alone, please? I'm so sorry, Evier. Please forgive me. Yeah, if only, got rid of the head. And your friends didn't kind of be complete jerks. You'll understand later. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes 12 in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventurers of your experience. I can send women like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. Of course, naturally, of course. Broken record. And waiting. Oh, yes, I changed to Archer, by the way. Just for the experience. I'm gonna be playing DPS classes through the storyline itself, and probably tank or healer during the dungeons for the most part, unless there's requests for specific classes or jobs to be played. Anyway, Call of the Desert. Recognize I said desert this time and not dessert? Mione has information on a new task. So you're not adverse to taking a little trip? Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Momody, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you in the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now, off you go, Totara, and good luck. AKA go to Ul'dah. AKA teleport. Teleport. And Momody is, of course, in the Adventurers Guild, which you can access through that way there, or through this way here, in the front thing by the fountain. And she's literally on the other side. Of course, if you started in Ul'dah, you'll have already met her, and if not, well, now you have. Momody, welcome to the Quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now, if you wouldn't mind showing yourself to Judging by your determined expression, I take it you ain't here for ale. Are you called Totoratora by any chance? Mayuni sent word that you'd be reported for duty. Be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to me prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? Okie dokie. Into a copper hell. Nobody is waiting to brief you on your task. The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. God's almighty, another second under the sun and I would have been set afire. A tankard of ale if you would be so kind. Excellent timing, Papachen. It just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. Hello. So this winsome lass is a much-lauded adventurer, is she? Marvellous, marvellous! My pleasure to make your acquaintance, m'lady. I'm Papachen, formerly the Sultan Sworn. I thank you for agreeing to lend us your aid. Mayhap you'd like to apprise Totora of her mission. Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Emlegina & Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbell Mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are the clans known as the Hackaton Cherries? Nope, whatever. Fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn Dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn Dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, m'lady. The people of this age use the thingies to work their mines. By way of enchanted helms, they were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will. But as it oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed. The slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the things, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mines' lowermost levels, so it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines were being reopened so as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. It's to think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them a dangerous to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we would have you undertake. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. God bless you. I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copperbell Mines are in western Thanalan. Do take care, you hear? One last thing before you depart. An employee of Emlegina & Sons is presently at the quicksand. The fellow name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copperbell Mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. And he will be right behind me when after I'm done this cutscene. Right there. Ta-da! Painted Mesa. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So, you're the adventurer who's volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? You've got guts, miss. I just hope you got skills to go with them, 'cause things ain't pretty down there. The Thingers left the place in a right state, nary a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you don't know this, but Copperbell was old when the second Ul'dah dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the building effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under mountains worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong! Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone torches are keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight. Well, that's kind of trippy. The stone torches are keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nations rests in you, friend. Best of luck. Right. Anyway, so we need to head to the Copperbell Mines, which is in Western Thanalan, which is over here. And you'll notice these two yet again. Stone torch. There have been an incident inside the Copperbell Mines. We are here to ensure that effects are contained, but for your own safety I suggest you stay well away from here. What? You're the adventurer who volunteered to quell the things. I didn't think the Papashan would be able to find someone so quickly. If at all. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside of the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come inside. The sooner you see to them, the better. Make ready as best you can and enter at will. Copperbell Mines, now accessible. Slaves, no more! Free! Free! And back in Ul'dah, I have to say I'm glad for two things. One, I now have the leveling roulette, which will make leveling up other classes and jobs super, super easier. Anyway, Faint and Mesa, and apparently it's some sort of fight thingy. Ah, the Conqueror of Copperbell returns. Thanks to you, our mine and operations can resume, and Ul'dah will have the materials she needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papashan the next time I see him. As for you, you'll want to report to Momody. It'll do the woman well to see you alive in one piece. So why am I talking to you then? I mean, No! Shut your mouth, you thieving little swine. You stole from me. Don't even think denying it. But please, sir, I didn't steal nothing. I bought this. Paid for it with my own coin. What rot! You refugees are all the same. Couldn't afford maggoty mole meat, much less a choice cut of dodo. I'm going to say it one more time. Give back what you stole or I'll make you wish you've never set foot in this town. By rights, I should turn you over to the brass plate. You know, help keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens. But I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me in whatever capacity I require, the authorities needn't hear of your crime. But I ain't done nothing wrong. 12 is my witness. Please, adventurer, help me. I beg of ya. I saw in my mother's grave I didn't steal nothing. I bought this with my own coin. I had saved. Only wanted to treat my children to a decent meal. Who the hells are you when you were at... And who the hells are you when you're at home? The dog's master? I've had enough of this mummer's farce. You lot, teach them a lesson. AKA, I'm about to beat the snot out of them. Just saying. Ooh, I am so scared. Ugh, I'll take care of this. Rest of you can watch. Still waiting. Not bad for an adventurer. Sort of curious if these guys say anything. That's how so unconcerned I am. Ugh, I should have stopped at the 7th ale. Nope, they don't say anything. We just have an audience. Okay. Gahaha, this'll learn ya. Oh, do you guys say something? I do find it curious that you can see brass blades right there. Never actually noticed that before. Stop gobbing at me and give me a hand, will ya? Bugger, bugger, bugger! Was that supposed to be a fight? I ain't getting paid enough for this. Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Thank you, kind adventurer. Thank you thrice over. I'd swear there were more refugees than when I last looked. And you wouldn't be mistaken. It's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? It's really simple. It's simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate aftermath of the calamity, many were no longer able to support their communities. The residents found their lands had either been rendered barren or cut off from trade routes, and problems like those aren't so easily solved. Though they tried to make the best of it, it was only a matter of time before they were forced to abandon their homes and seek a new life in the city. I see. But the calamity affected the whole realm, didn't it? It's the same happening in the other cities? If the talk is true, yes, though perhaps our situation is more pronounced. Ul'dah has a reputation for being prosperous, so it's natural that the refugees would try their luck here first. My heart goes out to them, it truly does, but it would be lying if I said that I wasn't apprehensive. I hope their presence doesn't foment? I think that's foment. Presence doesn't foment lawlessness in the city. Well, if things do take a turn for the worse, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blades would welcome their help. The heroes who fought the Garlean Empire patrolling the streets for riffraff? Maybe we'll come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be sure that some of the refugees will turn to crime. You know what this place is like. If you know coin, you've no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees are bad, mind you. Some are able to find employment and lead honest lives. Dodo tenderloins, get your dodo tenderloins. Guaranteed cheapest in Thanalan. Thank you for your custom, madam. Please come again. Looking around, you'd think the Ul'dah was well on its way to recovery. But peer through the veil of prosperity and you'll see no end to the misery and suffering. Madame? Are you alright? Yeah, super fine. Peachy keen. She didn't steal it. What now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? You literally just did. What? Saw her buy the meat, you say? That's absurd! I saw it with my own eyes. Aye, as did I. Leave the poor woman alone, you darned creature vulture. Ooh, who said that? Grr, I'll overlook this, but just this once. God bless you, adventurer. If you hadn't come along when you did, who knows what the monster might have done. I don't bear thinking about it. I think I read that right. I don't bear thinking about. There we go. Now I read it. Ever the selfless hero, I see. Hello, Y'shtola. It's been a while, adventurer. I have a name, you know. I have been watching you closely ever since you flew out of Limsa Lominsa. You discharged your duty as the Admiral's personal envoy with admirable humility, and have displayed unfaltering courage in the face of danger ever since. Whensoever you came upon those in need, you gave them succor with no thought of personal gain. In summary, you have demonstrated all of the qualities we seek in an adventurer. For reasons I cannot well explain, your very deed seems invariably to serve the general good, whether you mean it to or not. It is happy knack, and one which speaks volumes for your character. Yet for all of your admirable qualities, it is your gift which intrigues me most. I speak of the visions you experience. Visions like the ones visions like the one you had mere moments ago, if I'm not mistaken. I can provide you with the means to understand them. An acquaintance of mine is blessed with the selfsame talent, you see. If you so desire, I can introduce you to her. She and I fight for a common cause, a cause which would greatly benefit for your support. If you would agree to lend us your strength, we should be able to do all within our power to aid you in your personal endeavors. Think on my offer a while, should you decide to accept it. Pray speak with Momody. The proprietress of the Quicksand is a close friend and ally of ours. Blah, blah. I can speak. Inform her that you have been chosen by the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and she will tell you where to find us. But you couldn't tell me now? Because why? I'm just kidding, we still had to speak with Momody anyway. Hippity hop. Hop, hop. Momody. Humph, scenes like that are becoming ever more common. I'm afraid. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, you'll probably be alright. Only probably. Saying that, if you ever find yourself in a spot of bother, come and see me. Just don't go pester me every time you graze your knee, eh? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of the gentleman woes with the womenfolk from time to time. Bye-bye, adventurer. Ah, Totoro. Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just providing guidance to a fresh-off-the-carriage adventurer. My God, it's good to see you're safe and well. To look at you, no one would have ever guessed Wait, what? To look at you, no one would have ever guessed you'd been hard at it with giants in the dark. You've every ilm the adventurer Mione said you'd be, Totoro. Mione said you'd be, Totoro. The station master will be overjoyed when he hears the news. Oh, before I forget, there's a lass here who wants a word with you. Didn't actually know your name, but hearing her description, I knew who she meant right away. Hello. Sorry about your loss. Thank you for sparing the time. I realize you don't know me, but I've been longing to speak with you for a while now. My name is Ul'dah, and I'm the adventurer like you, though I'm not very good at being one, if truth be told. Anyway, I was adventuring with my friends in Gridania we were in Gridania when the leader of our party was killed. His name was Avir, and he and I were to be wed in the spring. You may not remember him, but to say that you remembered you would be an understatement. He would sing your praises from dawn to dusk. He saw you for what you are, you see, an adventurer's adventurer, and swore that he would be like you one day. I believe that he would have succeeded had Avir not robbed him of the chance. Since that day, I have thought long and hard about giving up adventuring. When I think of the woman you are, of all that you've achieved, I find that I'm inspired, just as Avir once was. And so I've decided to start again as an adventurer. I will go back to the village of my birth and begin my training anew. But I wanted to meet you first, to ask you your name. So why didn't you go back? Tora, I shan't forget. Sorry, I'm reminiscing to myself. Kind of confusing. Something happened. Thank you, Tora. I pray that we will meet again. Fare you well. We do indeed meet again, but not in pleasant terms. And I'll stop with the spoilers here. Adventuring can be a cruel bleeding business. I didn't know why anyone would bother. When they first asked me to take charge of the guild here, I didn't want aught to do with you lot. Thought it'd be a right pain in the arse looking after you all. But against my better judgment, I decided to accept the post, and I'm full glad I did. I feel privileged to be part of your lives. And that goes double for yours, Totara. Eh? What did you say? You want to know about the signs of the Seventh Dawn? They're beginning to move in earnest, then. Listen, Totara, the Scions ain't no ordinary folk, and the work they do ain't no ordinary work. I know full well how capable you are, but even you would think twice about attempting some of the stuff they do. Knowing that, if you're still certain you want to get involved, I'll tell you what I can. And I mean and cruel. You'll have to find out what that is in the next episode. Thanks for watching!